Hello everyone and welcome to Cat Scratch Kitchen. Today we're taking on a candy aisle classic. Forget the store-bought stuff. We're talking thick buttery shortbread, a luscious smooth caramel that you're going to want to eat with a spoon, and all that topped with a perfect shell of rich chocolate. That's right, we're making homemade Twix bars. Trust me, this recipe is way easier than you think, and the result? It's pure, delicious magic. I also want to just take a second to thank everyone who has subscribed and send out an invitation to those who haven't yet. We just passed 9,000 subscribers, on our way to 10,000, and it's been a remarkable ride. So once again, let's grab our aprons and dive into making the best candy that you'll ever taste. First thing we want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and that's so we can bake the crust. The crust is just a nice, simple shortbread. The entire recipe is 3 steps, just a little bit of time of cooling in between. So first thing I'm going to do is spray my pan. It's a 9-inch pan with some nonstick spray. I'm using a silicone pan, works great for this. Then I'm going to line it with some parchment paper. That's just going to make it easier to lift out later so that we can lift it out and cut them up. If you want to just serve it in the pan, you don't even have to bother with this part. Now I'm going to set this aside and we're going to put together our shortbread ingredients. I've got a medium-sized bowl and I need 1 1/4 cups of regular all-purpose flour. I need 1/4 cup of just regular granulated sugar, white sugar. I need 2/3 of a cup of softened butter. Now you can use 2 forks, you can use a pastry cutter. I'm using my biscuit mixer. It's like a pastry cutter almost, giant fork. We're just going to push it all together until we get a nice small crumble. I love this fork. It works really good for something like this and on biscuits so that you're not handling it too much. Works great. I just want to make sure I get all of that butter incorporated so we don't have a big chunk of it in there. Okay, now I'm going to bring my pan back out. We're just going to dump it all in there and then we're going to press it down with our hands, or you can use bottom of a glass or a spatula, whatever you want. I'm just going to use my fingers. Now this doesn't make a real thick crust, it just makes a small crust like you would have in your candy bar. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to set it in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes, or just until a toothpick comes out clean. And be sure not to let it over brown. We don't want to over bake it. And then we're going to take it out of the oven and let it cool. Okay, our shortbread crust is out of the oven. It's nice and golden. We're going to let it cool now. And in just a minute while it's cooling, we'll put together our caramel center. Okay, now while our crust is cooling, we're going to go ahead and put together our caramel sauce for the center. I've got 1/2 cup of butter, and I'm going to melt it in a medium saucepan. Now butter's melted, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of light brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, and 1/2 cup of sweetened condensed milk. Now we're just going to stir it all together and bring it to a boil. Okay, now that it's coming to a boil, we're going to continue to stir it constantly and let it cook for 4 minutes. Okay, it's been 4 minutes, and now I'm going to take it off the heat And I'm going to continue to stir it for another 2 minutes off the heat. In this 2 minutes, we're just looking for it to thicken up a little bit. Okay, you can see how when I drag the spoon through it, it kind of leaves a trail because it's thickening up some. That's what we're looking for. So now I'm going to pour it over the top of our shortbread base. And just spread it out. You can see how fast it's starting to thicken up once it's out of the pan. Just try and get it fairly even all the way around. And once this hardens up, it'll take a few minutes, then we'll go ahead and put our chocolate topping on it. Okay, our caramel is cooling, so I'm going to go ahead and get our topping, our chocolate topping ready. I've got 2 cups of chocolate chips. Now these are mini chips. I like them because they melt really fast, but any kind of chocolate chips. And 1 teaspoon of oil. I'm using canola oil. You want canola oil or vegetable oil, just something that's very neutral, doesn't have a flavor of its own. And we're going to do this in the microwave. I'm going to start out with 1 minute and give it a stir, and then continue in 15-second increments until it's melted and smooth, and then we'll bring out our Twix bars and pour this over the top. Okay, our chocolate's out of the microwave. It's nice and smooth. We're just going to pour it over our toffee. I'm just going to take a offset spatula, spread it out, and make it sort of smooth. Now we'll just let it cool, and then we can cut it into our bars. Okay, our chocolate has set. I'm just going to use the parchment paper to lift it out of the pan. Now we're going to cut it into little bars. Some of my chocolate cracked on top, but trust me, it's still going to taste delicious. You've got your caramel, your chocolate, and your short crust base.